Welcome back. Today's story about a lone girl, alone at night. The cold wind howled through the narrow streets of London as Emma pulled her coat tighter around her shoulders. The city was a vibrant and bustling place during the day, but at night, it transformed into something else entirely. The streets were quieter, the laughter of strangers replaced by the distant hum of car engines and the occasional bark of a dog. It was nearly midnight, and she was alone. Emma had always loved the city, but tonight, an uneasy feeling crept into her bones. She had stayed late at the library, losing track of time as she worked on her dissertation. By the time she packed up and left, the buses had become infrequent, and the idea of waiting alone at the stop didn't appeal to her. She decided to take the shortcut through the quieter streets to get home quicker. Her boots clicked against the pavement as she walked, her breath visible in the chilly air. The yellow glow of streetlights cast long shadows on the empty sidewalks. She told herself she had taken this route before, that there was nothing to fear. But something about tonight felt different. As she turned a corner onto a narrow alleyway, she heard footsteps behind her. They were soft but distinct, matching her pace. Her heart began to pound. She glanced over her shoulder but saw no one. Maybe she was imagining it. Maybe it was just the echo of her own steps. But as she walked faster, so did the footsteps. A shiver ran down her spine. She knew better than to panic. Instead, she reached for her phone and quickly called her best friend, Leah. "Hey, Em. What's up?" Leah's voice was cheerful. I think someone is following me," Emma whispered, glancing behind her again. The street was still empty. "Where are you?" Leah asked, her tone instantly serious. "Near Holloway Road, taking the shortcut home." "Emma, get to a main road now." Emma did not need to be told twice. She picked up her pace, her heart hammering in her chest. But as she neared the end of the alley, she heard something, a deep, guttural breath, too close for comfort. She turned sharply, her phone gripped tightly in her hand. A tall figure in dark clothing stood just a few feet away. His face was obscured by the dim light, but his posture was tense. "What do you want?" she asked, forcing her voice to remain steady. The man did not respond. Instead, he took a step forward. Emma felt her stomach drop. Every instinct screamed at her to run. She turned on her heel and bolted. The sound of footsteps thundering behind her fueled her desperation. She sprinted towards the main road, her breath coming in gasps. Just as she reached the corner, she heard a car approaching. A pair of bright headlights illuminated the street, and Emma ran straight into the road, waving her arms. The car screeched to a halt. The driver, a middle-aged man, rolling down his window. "Are you all right?" he asked, concern etched across his face. Emma turned back, but the man who had been following her was gone. The alley was empty. She swallowed hard, trying to catch her breath. Someone was following me. He was right there. The driver looked past her, frowning. "Come on, let me drive you home." Emma hesitated for only a moment before nodding. She climbed into the passenger seat, her hands trembling. As the car pulled away, she looked out the window, scanning the darkness. Whoever had been following her had disappeared into the night. When she finally got home, she locked the door behind her and leaned against it, her heart still racing. She knew she had been lucky. The thought of what could have happened if the car hadn't come sent shivers down her spine. That night, as she lay in bed, sleep eluded her. The city was full of people, full of lights and noise. But in those quiet, shadowed moments, she had never felt so alone.